read the intro paragraph, task 819. Go ahead, Griffin. Nice and loud.
But Josh is starting now.
Yeah.
Josh.
No. I'm sorry. Read the intro first,
And then that one?
and then
Okay. In lesson 8.1.1, you compared the results of two different methods of measuring to answer the question, which measuring tool is more precise? Today you will continue to develop your methods for comparing two distributions of data. Josh is just starting a round of golf. The first hole is 130 yards long. He needs to decide which club to use for his first shot. He has kept careful records about how close his first shots came to the hole, all from the same distance. His records include data from his use of two different golf clubs, a wedge and an 8-iron over the past year.
Iron, it's all good. Okay, so we have this info, we have this data spread. So one thing that we have been, we've been working with a spread of data, and we've been finding mean, median, mode, and range, right? So today we're going to focus really on median, and then we're going to learn IQR, interquartile range. So I'll kind of explain what that is. So I put up a box and whisker plot. You've probably heard of it referred to as a box plot or a box and whisker plot. So box plot. I have my median, and I know it's a little blurry, but here's your median right here. Median is the middle of the data spread, right? What do we do first before we find the median? Bless you. Thank you.
You put them in the order.
Yeah, we arrange them in numerical order. So I arrange all my data points in numerical order, I work my way in, and I find the exact middle, right? If there's an odd number of data points, then there's a middle. There's an even number of data points, I have two numbers. So if it's like 75 and 77, what's the median? 76. If it's 17 and 39, is it less obvious than before? So then I add the two and then divide by 2. Remember, you find the mean, the average, to find what that median is. So, okay, put our data points in numerical order, work my way in, find the middle of the data, and that's our median, okay? So we also have what are called the first quartile, or the Q1, and the third quartile, or the Q3. And essentially all it is it's kind of like your first and third middle. So the median's our middle, and so I have the middle of my data points, and then I'm going to go to the beginning of my data points. Finger on the middle of the median, finger on the first data point, and then I work my way in just like I do to find the median, and I find like the middle of the beginning of the data. Does that make sense? So essentially you find the median and cut the rest out, and then find the middle again. Then I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to go back to the median or the middle, and I'm going to go to the end of my data points. Okay? Then I'm going to work my way in and kind of find the third middle. So I found my first middle, my median or my second middle, and my third middle. Does this kind of make a little bit of sense? Yes, no, maybe so? It'll make more sense as we move along. I know this is all brand new. So this is basically my median is like my Q2 or my second quartile. Okay, we split all of our data points into our very middle, my Q2, and then I need to find my first middle or my middle of the beginning of the data, which is my first quartile or my Q1. And then I go over to the end and I find the third quartile or the Q3, and it's like my third middle. And basically, if I find the direct middle, and then I find kind of all of the data that's next to the middle, that shows like a majority of my data, right? It's fair to say that this is a majority of what I have. This is most likely to occur. I'm going to choose, people are going to choose this a majority of the time. Whatever your data is based on, you find all of the middles, and that's like what it is. I know this is confusing. It'll make more sense as we go along. Okay, so the reason we find interquartiles is because that's what makes up your box plot. And a box plot is like a really good just visual representation of your data. If I want to throw up batting averages, average, like last year I had students find average height and weight of basketball teams. I can see it in a box plot real easily, right? Rather than looking at a list of data. Your minimum and your maximum. Your minimum is just your lowest number. We've dealt with that. Your maximum is your highest number. How do I find the range in my data? We've been doing that. Yeah.
Don't you just like take the highest number and then subtract the lowest number?
Yeah. Highest number, subtract the lowest number. My highest number is 80. My lowest number is 10. What's my range?
70.
70. 70 shows me what's the range in my data. My interquartile range is what's the range of like my average or my middle data, okay, or majority of my data. So basically what we do to find the interquartile range, or you'll often hear it referred to as the IQR, we abbreviate it, is I take the first middle, the Q1, and I subtract it from the Q3. So the same way we find the regular range. I want to see what the range is of my middle. Does that make sense? Okay. This will make more sense as we move along. I'm going to show you some example. So what I would like you to do is, Griffin read that task for us, 819. Josh is golfing. And I know golf is super lame, but just go ahead and bear with us here. Josh is trying to see what's better, the wedge or the 8-iron, okay? So he was real studious. He wrote down everything that his distance every single time shooting with the wedge, and every single time shooting with the 8-iron, so he can compare. So our ultimate goal is to analyze this data, make 2 box plots, so he can look real quickly up. Let's hit something. Yeah, hit the board. And look at that box plot here, look at the box plot for the wedge, look at the box plot for the 8-iron, and see what he's shooting better with. So what's the yardage? How far from where he's driving the ball to the hole?
130 yards.
Very good. You guys see that in there? 130 yards, it tells you. Okay? So he shoots with or drives with the wedge. The very first time, he gets what? What's the first number for wedge? 0. That means when he drove the ball or shot it, I don't know the term. Hits the ball. Thank you. Drives it. He got a hole in 1. Because what that yardage is that he's writing down, he wrote 0. That means that his ball landed 0 yards from the hole. So if it's 0 yards from the hole, it's in the hole. He got a hole in 1.
Wait, but technically you could be 1 or 2 feet away, and it would still be within a yard.
But our yard is our unit. So if he was a certain number of feet, it would be like a quarter of a yard or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what did he get the second time?
19.
3. So the second time he hit the ball, it landed 3 yards from the hole. What was the third one? What'd you say?
What did I say?
Yeah.
Jordan was just laughing.
You said 19, that's for the 8-iron.
I thought she just said iron.
That's
what we were talking about.
It's all good. We're talking about the wedge.
Oh, that's
Okay. When his third drive or his third hit, he got what? What was it again? 1. So it landed 1 yard from the hole. Okay, does this make better sense now? Because when I read through that, it's super wordy and it's about golf, and I just checked out as soon as it said golf. I was like, yeah, I'm not interested.
Golf is boring.
Just like when you guys talk about soccer, I'm like, yeah.
I don't play soccer. Soccer is
So
play soccer is not boring.
soccer's actually, I know she's super good at soccer.
More interesting.
Okay,
I don't play
My
soccer.
grandpa's famous golf.
Get into a soccer game. My grandpa's the game of golf.
Okay, here we go. So that's the wedge. Then we have the 8-iron. He did the same thing as he did with the wedge. Okay, so you have this data spread for the wedge, data spread for the iron. Here's what I would like you to do. Caitlin, please stop drawing. Here's what I'd like you to do. On your notebook, in your notebook, on that page, split it in half, long way, or still keep it portrait style, but draw a line down the middle. Okay, this way, horizontal line. So you're gonna, up top, we're gonna do our information for the wedge. Horizontal line, portrait style. So then up top, label it wedge. We're gonna do all of our information for the wedge on top. Down below, write 8 iron. We're gonna do everything for the 8 iron down below. Here's what I'd like you to do in your teams. Yes. What's the first thing we always do with our data set? We said it earlier. What was it? Very good. Put in numerical order. So arrange the wedge data spread in numerical order, then the 8 iron in numerical order. Then I would like you to do what? What do we do after we put it in numerical order?
You do this stuff.
Find and do math.
No,
After you put in numerical order, you are going to find the median. Find the median for the wedge. Find the median for the 8 iron, and I'll check back in. You guys got 2 minutes.
Wait, why don't you do the average?
We're not doing, because we're not, you could.
But isn't that going to tell you which one to use?
Yeah, it definitely could. But we're going to do, we're learning box plots.
Just do the easy way.
2 minutes, let's go. Focus.
Where do you want us to draw that line?
Like right here. Just put it down. Wedge on top, 8 iron on bottom. Wedge on top, 8 iron on bottom. I did it.
Well, I didn't do it. There's another 2.
You need a piece of notebook paper? Where's your notebook? Do you need a piece of paper? There's a UPS truck and a FedEx truck. There's gonna be a rumble outside.
What is it?
It's gonna be a fight.
Was it Amazon truck, a UPS
So
truck,
there's a
and
FedEx truck and a UPS truck. There's gonna be a rumble.
Dude, that's
It was an Amazon Prime truck.
Okay, don't get up and look at it. Go back to your seats. Finish
Uh-oh.
this.
It's going down.
It's gonna go down.
You guys got 1 minute left. Let's go.
Oh, I don't like this.
It's not the hardest part.
Why keep going down for real?
Yeah.
It's gonna go down for real, dude.
Turn down for what?
Write all the numbers down and then.
And then find the median.
Why do you gotta?
Numerical order.
Good point. Good point. I respect that.
You say need?
What?
You're saying need?
No, not the, just the
I
median.
put them all in order.
So numerical order and then median. Okay, numerical order, median. You have 1 minute. Come on. That's median is the middle.
Oh, what's in the middle?
Sorry, I forgot. It's been spring break.
8 iron.
Am I doing this right? Will you check this?
The median is that what it is? Yeah, like. Yes, because we're gonna do a whole lot more with that data point, so that's why it's more sophisticated right now. The wedge, like we're gonna build a whole box plot for the wedge.
Knowing something I did for spring break.
For
which one?
No, I don't pause. My neck will pop.
The wedge is gonna be at the top.
Stuck feeling like it's going to pop, but it won't.
Yeah, that's the worst.
This is okay, but I would like to. Yeah.
Now when I try to pop it, it hurts.
Or when I cross that one.
5, 3 plus 5 divided by 2. So if you take all those,
Jordan.
so it's 0, 1, and 2, 3, 7, 5 plus 3 divided by 2.
8 divided by 2 is 4.
And now 6 through 8. Oh! Are we looking for the mean or the median?
It will be a team order for the dinner.
And divide, yeah, the more so.
Okay.
I don't know.
What?
There are 2 12s. Yeah, oh yeah, they're fixed.
There's no 32, it's just 2 twos.
What about the next
And
one?
then it's divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, wait, where you going?
We have learned this many times working with sixth grade and we were getting here. No, I've learned, the only thing we're learning is box plots.
So, you know,
No,
so
it's
it's
just-
these on the right. So these guys, you know, like the little shark thing that goes on your hand. So the short.
You're trying to figure out.
Okay, by this time, you should have all the numbers for your wedge at the top of your paper, written in numerical order, and you should have the median circled. Down below, on the second half of your paper, you should have the 8 iron in numerical order with the median circled. What did you guys, okay. Bridget, please read me the data points for the wedge. Yep, in numerical order, please.
Oh, it was 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, 7, 15, 22, and 25.
Were there two 22s?
No.
No. Okay, 22, 25. Okay, thank you. And then, who can read me the data points in order for the 8 iron? Ava, thank you.
3, 5, 7, 8, 8, 10, 10, 11, 12, 13, 19.
20? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, numerical order, wedge, 8 iron. So there are a few strategies. Caitlin, put that away, please. So there's a couple strategies you could do to find the median. This is review. You did this last year. We've been doing it this year, but few reminders. So what I like to do, personally for me, is to cross off on either side and work my way into the middle. Okay? So there's an even number of data points, so there's no direct middle. I got 3 and 5. What is between
4.
3 and 5?
4.
4. So my median, or my Q2, is 4. Okay? Now, another strategy, and I'll do it down here for the 8 iron, is to cover up. If it's large, I'm going to use my hand, or use your finger. So I'm literally going to cover up until I get to the middle. So 1 on either side, work my way in, and then I get to 10 and 11. So it's between 10 and 11. What number is between 10 and 11? 10 and a half, 10.5. So my Q2 for the 8 iron is 10.5. So there's our medians. What was that? Huh? When do you guys need to leave? Okay. Q2s or medians for both of the data points. We are now going to find, so this is where you need to put your pencils down and just watch. Okay, I have my Q2 or my median. Now I want to find the Q1 or the quartile, or the first quartile, and the Q3 or the third quartile. Okay, so I start at my median, and I put my finger on the first data point, the minimum. So now I'm going to start, just like I found the median before, I'm going to do the same thing here. So I start at 4, cross it off. Cross off on this side, 3, 1, up, and now I have 2 in the middle. So all I did was start at my median. Our median's 4, right? What was our median for the wedge?
4.
Everybody. 4. Okay? So I'm ignoring, for now, I'm ignoring all the end of the data. I'm just going from the 4 to the start. And I'm doing the same thing I do to find the median. I'm in the middle of that first part of the data. Thanks, bud. I'm going from here to here. When I did that, I got between 2 and 2. What's between 2 and So our Q1 is 2. Okay? Now, same thing for Q3. Put your hand on the median, 4. Put your hand on the last data point, 25. Work my way in. And again, I got 2 numbers, between 7 and 15. Now, is this one as obvious to just see the middle?
No.
Is it as obvious as it was before to see the middle, everybody? No. What do I need to do? Remember I told you at the beginning of class. What do you do again when there's not a direct middle? Very good. Add the 2, divide by 2. What is 7 plus 15?
22.
22. What's 22 divided by 2?
11.
So our middle, or our Q3, is 11. Now, does anybody remember how I told you to find the IQR, the interquartile range? Remember I said the way you can remember it is like the inner range. Remember what I said? So for the regular range, I take my highest number, 25, and I subtract my lowest number, 0. So there's a range of 25. For the interquartile range, IQR, or the inner range, what do you think I would do? How about take my highest quartile and subtract my lowest quartile? That tells me the range of my quartiles. What is 11 minus 2?
9.
So my IQR is 9. Okay, with your team, I would like you to find the Q1, the Q3. You already have the Q2. We already found the median. It's 10.5 for the 8 iron. I would like you with your team to find the Q1, the Q3, and the IQR. You guys have 4 minutes. Go.
No.
Why is it called
Okay, Q1 is 8.
Seems like a good question.
Q2 is 10.5.
What's that?
How do you know, like, what's Q1?
So remember I kind of said it's kind of like the beginning middle, right?
So the first half middle?
Yeah.
Q3 is 12.
So what's the median of your 8 iron? 10.5.
So
Put your pencil or your finger on 10.5. Now take your other finger and put it on the first data point, the minimum. Now work your way in to find the middle.
okay, the IQR is 12.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Q1 is
Correct.
and then you go actual middle.
Yep. You got it.
Q3 is 12.
12 minus 8 is
No, it's 12. The Q3 is 12.
We're doing IQR.
Did you get for Q1?
Yeah, but look, the
You really need to count on your fingers 12 minus 8.
No?
Wait, Q2? Get that. Remember Q2 is the median. This Q1 is the median. Okay, so I did Q2 is the middle between Q1 and Q3. And then you just do the Q2.
It won't be 12.5 because
Why do you always touch my stuff?
Somebody touched Jordan's spaghetti.
Are you hurt? What's scared you? I will fall on broken right now.
The only sawtooth thing I own is our shooting Jordan. I was gonna do something else and I just stopped laughing.
Oh, I see.
Jordan, somebody makes the littlest mistake. You're just like cracking up.
Jordan, you know what I'm tempted to do? Jordan, I'm tempted to write show my forehead.
Hey, eyes on the board, please. Okay, looks like you guys are doing well at this. Okay, our median, also referred to as what? What do we also? What our median is also our middle.
Q2.
Or Q2. Okay, our Q2 or our median was 10.5. So I go to my 10.5 and I start crossing off to get the first middle. So 10.5, 3, 10, 5, 10, 7. And what did I get in the middle? Do I have an even number?
No.
Yes, so I have 2 in the middle. It's 8 and 8. But that's easy. What's between 8 and 8?
8.
So 8 is our what?
Q1.
Q1. Very good. Okay, I'm going to go the other way to find our Q3. So I'm going to cross off 10.5, 20, 11, 19, 11, 13. And then I got between 12 and 12. What's between 12 and 12? 12. Nice and easy. So our Q3 is 12. Now, one thing that I see a common error is that people won't go back to the median. They'll go down and they'll do from the largest number to right here. Or they'll start at the 10 and go to the, you have to go back to whatever your median is. And you're crossing the median off and the maximum. Or the median off and the minimum. Okay? Yeah, Griffin.
So when we got the Q2, which was 10.5, you used the 10 and 11. Why did you choose to use the second 11 too? Like, does that even make sense?
Why did I use both of these 11s?
Yeah. Like, if you use the 10 and I got it. Never mind.
Figure it out?
Yeah.
Another question I get a lot is, why would you include the 0? 0 is not a number. Just like when we found the mean.
But it's still a data point.
It's a number, it's not a digit.
It's,
Bread.
even though it doesn't add to my total, like remember we found mean, I said even though 0 doesn't add to your total, it's still, if I'm getting my average for my foul shots and I miss a foul shot, do I just say, I'm not including that, I'm only going to count the ones I make? Well, if you only counted the ones you make, well, you get 100%, right? So we always include the 0. So that's another question I get kind of a lot. Okay, now we have our Q3 12 and our Q1 8. What's our IQR?
4.
I got 8.
Everybody.
4.
4, very good. Q3 minus Q1, 12 minus 8 is 4. Okay. Quartile.
Oh.
That's a big word.
Okay, now to the important part, the box plots.
Oh no.
What I would like you to do is, we're going to do a box plot for the wedge, and then as a team, you'll do a box plot for the 8-iron. So go to your wedge section, title this wedge. You always title a box plot.
What's the block?
And then I would like you to write this number line, okay? We are going to go from 0 to 30 by 2s. That is your number line. Copy this number line, go. Natalie, do you have your hand up?
I was wondering, is it always going to be Q3 minus Q1?
For the IQR? Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, hey, Aaron.
Daniel.
People are peeling at them and they're getting all gross.
Who's covering? You copy the number?
Okay, all you're doing at this point is copying the number line. 0 to 30 going by 2s. We're titling it wedge. This should be under your wedge section.
Let's go.
The reason I chose 0 to 30 is because I can see my values, my data points start at 0 and they go to 25. Really, it's up to you. Like, some people like to have their box plot centered on a number line, so they would start at like -5 and go all the way to 35 and then have some extra space at the end. Or you can start right at that value. It really is up to you.
Crap, I was 16, 17, 18, 19.
He's so
Jordan.
passionate about
George
timelines. Okay,
Oh yeah, I bet you have.
30 more seconds.
Why do you make fun of Jordan?
Because I was mean to Miss Dog.
Yeah, that's true.
Jordan, your profession could be laughing. Dude, that'd be
Everyone
hilarious.
makes fun of you.
Okay, all right. Above your number line, the very first thing, eyes on the board, please. The very first thing I do when I start my box plot is the same place I start with my data always, the median. What was the median value for our wedge?
It was 4. 4.
So above the number line, not on the number line, it's a hot mess if you draw the number line, you just can't see it. Above the number line, I'm gonna go to 4 and I'm gonna draw a line like this. Do that now.
4.
Okay, what was our Q1 for the wedge?
Dose.
2. So I'm gonna draw the same size line above the 2. What was the Q3 for our wedge?
11.
So guess what? Same size line between the 10 and the 12 would be our 11. So same size line above the 11. And then that makes up our box. Your box is all your middles. Q1, Q2, Q3, so we can connect it.
That's nice.
That's not hard.
No, it's not bad. Okay, now we need our whiskers. I'll show you how to make the whiskers. What is the minimum data point?
0.
So draw a dot above the 0, like that. Weston, what's our maximum data point?
30.
30. No.
No.
25.
Oh.
Data point.
Oh, 25.
25, yeah. Our number line was 30, but our data point would be 25.
Wait, I didn't get that.
So,
Why is the data point 25?
so the whiskers make up your minimum data point or your smallest data point and your largest data point.
But why there's
Because when I look at a visual representation, I want to see, do I have any weird outliers or values? You know, where does it go to? Where does it start? Where does it go to? Yeah.
No. Does he mean like, why is there, like, why do we go to 30 but really go to 25?
you just said you get the largest number and I see 30 and that's larger than 25.
Go ahead.
Because our largest number on the wedge is 25.
Oh.
Data points.
I'm so smart.
It's just
I
not
can see.
number
Now,
line.
could I have stopped my number line at 25? I could have, or 26.
Oh, okay.
I remember I told you when we were making the number line, it's really your preference. Some people like to have a box plot. Guys, stop talking, please. Bridget. Some people like to have their box plot centered on the number line. Some people like to have it made, like the entire number line. It's really just preference. Okay, so 25 is our largest data point. So between the 24 and the 26, I'm going to draw a dot and then make your whiskers. No, it's just called a box and whisker plots. Really, they used to be called box and whisker plots. Now I only hear them referred to as box plots. Box plots. I was drawing up this box and whisker plots, and the teacher made you draw this.
Please don't make us draw that.
I'm drawing that.
Oh no. Oh no. No.
Please don't make us do
You're
that.
welcome.
You really have to do that? That's crazy. I didn't go to clown college. No, so
Part
you
of
just
your
call it whisker
grade.
because they look like little whiskers. But nope, they're called box plots. So how do we feel about this?
You don't have to draw it.
I'm drawing it.
Okay.
Did you draw it?
Raise your hand if you drew the kitty cat. And that's all right.
Thank you.
Raise your hand if you feel, and it's okay because this is our first day. If you feel confident enough that you could be a leader in your group and help your group with a box plot, raise your hand. Okay, you are now going to make a box plot for the 8 iron in the 8 iron section. Now, your first task as a team is to talk and determine what would be an appropriate scale for our number line. What should we go by? You make it too big, your scale will be off, your box plot will be wonky. So talk about that, start that now, go. Make your box plot for the 8 iron. 8 iron. Really?
Go to 20.
So what is the number line from
No, we're going by 2. 0 to, it goes 0 to 20.
0 to 20 by 2 is a good choice. Because there's not that many data points that high.
By 2?
Yeah, I think so. Because if you go by, like, say it's going by 5s, it just gets, it's less accurate, right? Because you're just eyeballing it.
Sure, yeah. Okay, then. So if it's 10.5, I don't want to draw it.
It's going to be a little less than middle, right?
Or middle.
Middle and then feedback.
Wait, did you do Q3 or the IQR? Miss Dell,
Yeah?
I got an equation.
What's up?
So you did the Q1 and the Q2? And the what? Like, do you do the Q3 or the IQR?
No.
Because there's only one line on the story.
Yep, so it might ask you to find the IQR, but the box plot, you only need the Q1, Q2, Q3.
Okay.
And then your minimum and your maximum.
Minimum is 3.
Really?
Yeah.
And your cat. Okay, cool. Yeah. I did it. I think.
I'm still making it a cat.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh,
Did you go by 4?
Keegan, when did you cut your hair?
Yesterday.
Oh,
I thought you were a Carter.
Hey, once I check your team's box plots, you guys can start packing up.
When you see the box.